He went through numerous warfares.
Now they're going to get 15 rounds back.
Look at that combination.
Gotti, his nemesis says keep him up. Right hand lands over the top.
It seemed as though the battle-hungry spirits of the Colosseum's greatest gladiators reincarnated themselves through Arturo Gotti.
Came right out, he didn't give him a chance, he nailed him and hurt him.
He got him, he's down, this could be it.
No one could match the amount of entertainment per square foot. Even as he ate the punches, Gotti demoralized his opponents with his sheer will.
To put him out of there with accumulated punishment. Gotti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull a Gotti.
Oh, there's a big left hook.
After fighting him, boxers would end their careers.
Как быстро летит время. Так, вот это вот самое...
A name with its own colorful place in boxing history. And there...
Come back with your shield, or on it. That's the slogan that epitomized Arturo Gotti.
Who has been at the helm of Ward's boxing career pretty much.
After its defeat in World War II, Italy experienced years of economic recession, which led to a rapid increase in unemployment. This led to an escalation of violence on the streets of the Apennine Peninsula and prompted parents to leave the country in the hope of giving their children a better future. A member of one of those families was Arturo Gotti, whose parents moved to Canada. His parents worked all day long, leaving their children to learn the lessons of life on their own. Little Gotti had to stand up for himself and never give up, and in the future, it will affect his fighter character. At the age of 15, Gotti came to the boxing gym, and finding a good trainer went on the path of professional boxing.
McCullough's been winning most of his contests inside the distance, even against Cuba.
Professional career of the young Italian began at the age of 19. He, akin to the Tasmanian Devil, went straight through the opposition, earning himself a record of 23 wins and only 1 loss. The young prospect's name was spreading, and he was offered a fight with former two-weight champion and current IBF junior lightweight champion Tracy Patterson.
He will come out and try to land it early. Patterson will look for Gotti to...
The fight started, and a youngster Gotti, using his quick feet and combinations, overwhelmed Patterson as the champion found himself stuck on the receiving end of punches. Patterson decided not to waste time on the head of quick contender and instead target his opponent's body.
40 jabs in round 1, taking the advantage early in the fight.
Gotti realized that pattern, and with a well-timed uppercut, sent the Patterson down.
Hasn't tried that tactic much. Crowd beginning to boo, and down goes Patterson.
The champion beat the count, and Arturo was there to finish him. However, his experience allowed him to stay on his feet.
Instead of lingering there looking for more reach.
Good right hand by Gotti that time.
Handler as a body puncher. Hard right hand counter by Patterson. Gotti again decides to...
Gotti, who had never been in the championship rounds before, used up all his energy in an effort to finish the fight. But even tired Gotti did not stop fighting, and fueled with the sheer will to win, Gotti proceeded to fight and earned the victory with his tear and blood.
But Patterson countered with a right, and Gotti wobbles again.
And new junior lightweight champion of the world.
Newly crowned champion Arturo Gotti made his first title defense against a hard-hitting boxer who had been on a streak of 5 consecutive finishes, Wilson Rodriguez. The bell sounded, and even though Arturo was already the champion, he never quit taking risks and wasn't afraid to enter the exchanges.
Rodriguez, who stays away from the left hook by circling away from it and begins most of the...
Rodriguez chastised the champion for such recklessness by constantly catching him with his straights, which resulted in an opening a cut above Gotti's eye.
And begins most of the exchanges when Gotti comes close.
You've got Wilson landed. Okay.
Arturo wasn't upset by this in any way. Instead, he went for Wilson's liver.
Asking his trainer Hector Roca, what about my eye? Cross right under the shoulder blade, and now comes back with a left.
In an attempt to go to the body once again, Gotti walked into a stabbing straight that sat him on his butt.
Cutman Joe Souza with a big job coming up. Gotti goes down
It was a rock-paper-scissors game, and whatever Gotti chose, Rodriguez outscored him and came out victorious in every episode.
Gotti landed a right cross close.
Rodriguez realized that it was time to finish the champion and take the title by taking immediate action.
Yep, he's wobbling now.
Yes, he's in.
Rodriguez is about to put him out of there with accumulated punishment.
Let him go. That punch.
But against all the laws of logic, instead of defending himself, Gotti pounced on the challenger.
It's just low blow, and he got away with it. And Gotti finishes by pulling it out from nowhere.
Finally, Gotti was able to land his hard hook and let his opponent know what a non-working liver feels like.
Both fighters landed more than 60% of their blows in round four.
There's a shot.
Gotti went for the finish, but the bell delayed Rodriguez's annihilation.
Can you believe this kid? Great, step back.
In the next round, Gotti stalked Wilson with a cold head like a lioness, stalking an antelope, trying to catch his opponent with his powerful punching.
He went down, and he said, "He hurt me to the ribcage."
All of that is from...
Rodriguez finally recovered, and the fighters clashed in an uncompromising duel from which Gotti emerged alive.
Here it comes.
The body shots.
Well, I asked you in the second and third round if he had time to go to the body, and you said yes, he did.
Over and over and over again.
Gotti defended his title and put down a couple of other fighters, for which he rightfully earned the nickname Thunder.
Upstairs, Rock Korea. Another one.
His next title defense was against ex-WBC super featherweight champion Gabriel Ruiz. This fight was the co-main event of the evening, featuring Lennox Lewis and Andre Galata.
If my memory is correct, it was ruled a low punch.
The experienced Arturo Gotti started technically outboxing Ruiz, forcing his opponent to fight with air, and confidently took the round to his pocket.
Both fighters have made a couple of statements here in the first round. Ruiz lands two right hands up.
But he's definitely not the stronger puncher.
But Ruiz did not get discouraged. He attempted to impose his dirty dogfight in every way possible. In the third round, Ruiz, who grew up on the bloody fights of the greatest Mexican sluggers, began to read Gotti and throw in his multi-strike combinations.
I don't think he has losing in mind. He's landing a terrific flurry here the last 20 seconds.
He's having an excellent round.
Ruiz became so confident that he began to go all in, giving the champion no room to breathe.
I don't know if that's a smart thing to do because he should know that Arturo keeps more than,
Battle of uppercuts, both men landing.
Gotti was pressed to the ropes, where he took an uppercut as strong as tequila. However, he once again proved that he was from another planet, starting to not only fight back, but also march forward.
Some mean punches here. Everything has bad intent written all over it.
Ruiz taking the punches and coming. Hard shot by Ruiz.
That is hurt bad.
And he still is with a chance. Arturo Gotti.
From the start of the fifth round, Ruiz went on to capitalize on his success to regain the gold long stolen from the Aztecs. But Gotti had other plans. His left hook Gotti stopped the act of mugging.
By Gotti. Esteves says keep him up. Right hand lands over the top. Down goes Ruiz. It's her left hook.
There's the left hook and over it is. I think
And Arturo once again successfully defended his championship title. This fight was honored as the fight of the year.
Arturo Gotti early in the round.
that was an uppercut that he was landing all night long. That's how he first hurt.
Gotti not only had to enter the wars that drained his lifespan, but also a draining weight cut. Tired of this in his next fight, Gotti decided to move up in weight and conquer new heights. In his next fight, Gotti easily walked over Reyes Munoz, and in his next fight, stepped up against Joey Gamache, a fighter with a staggering record of 55 wins and only 3 losses.
Gotti looked absolutely...
The fight began, and Gotti took the center of the ring in masterly fashion, His body movements showed absolute confidence in his physical preparation. The very first blow that Arturo landed almost threw Gash out of the ring.
Raised in Lewiston, Maine, a name with its own colorful place in boxing history, and there's a knock.
It was probably more of a flash knockdown and Gash was fine, but the double hook proved it was no fluke.
Gotti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull a Gotti.
Oh, there's a big left hook by Gotti.
This is usually the kind of action we see from Gotti in the last round.
You could see Gotti was on a whole other level. He made Gash look like an amateur. The Canadian staggered Joey time after time and made spaghetti out of his legs.
And Gotti landed one more left.
The second round began and the annihilation continued with each punch. Gotti staggered his opponent until a murderous combination dropped Gash dead.
Bigger than he does.
Yeah, and he's got a 15-pound weight advantage. Every time he lands a shot. Right uppercut. And you see why we were worried about Joey Gash. Does a number on Joey Gash in a round.
After such a humiliating defeat, Gash rethought his life and decided to quit boxing for good.
Arturo Thunder Gotti.
In his next fight, Gotti faced former IBF light welterweight champion Millet.
Кем был Гатти до сих пор, Бадди Макгерт пытается сделать боксера.
The fight began, and Gotti's new style was hard to miss. The main emphasis was on accuracy. Now, Arturo's killer punches became much more terrifying.
Чувствуете, какой тут бой?
Gotti never relied on the block. Instead, he used his head movement to avoid the blows coming at him.
Попал Гатти слева, Millet вытерпел, выстоял. Навстречу ударить. Это, конечно, то, что...
But Millet didn't become IBF champion for his pretty eyes. He was snapping back, and using his pressure, he was able to catch Gotti. However, while Millet was snapping back, Gotti was fighting to eat his opponent.
Каждый подставляется. И новый не скажет. Вот Гатти, кажется, попал. Прекрасно понимать, что можно и нарваться.
The outcome was a foregone conclusion as Gotti knocked Millet down twice.
Как быстро летит время. Так, вот это вот все. Millet, по-моему, просто выпрашивает неприятность. И вот она наступает. Как Millet мог.
But for some reason, the referee decided to keep the fight going and remove the non-existent early stoppage controversy. The Canadian pounced at this wounded antelope and left everyone feeling sorry for the poor guy.
И неизвестно, как бой бы повернулся. Вы сами все видели.
Gotti already had a lot of wars under his belt and 2 Fight of the Year honors, but one elephant in the room must be acknowledged. Mickey Irishman Ward, who was at Gotti's weight, also had a reputation as an uncompromising brawler and was the perfect choice to test Arturo Gotti's spirit. Ward was known for his assertiveness. He was not a king and had no right to knight men, but his left to the body made boxers take a knee.
Chez lost 6 straight rounds and won the fight.
Although the two warriors knew of each other's determination, neither of them could have imagined that this showdown would go down in sports history as one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Oh, everybody's expected a good fight tonight.
The fight began, and Gotti, in his usual style, began to outbox Ward with his quick attacks.
I think he may finally be fighting Emmanuel at his most effective weight.
Yes, yes.
Normally a slower starter who sort of builds tempo. Any fight in which Arturo doesn't lead is an upset.
Ward's aggressiveness, he stopped with his accuracy and quick footwork.
That's perfect for Gotti.
For the first time, Gotti's opponent bled before the Canadian himself.
You don't normally hear those names in the pre-fight on camera, but it was an
Thus, Arturo took the first 4 rounds before the Irishman found his rhythm and, activating his juggernaut mode, began to break down the agile Gotti.
And that's to punch.
Gotti to the body. Gotti with uppercut.
Looks like there's blood coming now from Ward.
We've saw Ward in those type of fights. You remember the fights with him? This is just one of his normal fights.
Fight of the year for 2001, Ward Burton broke a lot of confidence. Oh, that's another right-hand bomb.
From the 5th round onwards, the balance began to shift from one side to the other. The fighters, like good borrowers, did not want to stay in debt, and each taken punch was not left unanswered.
Now they're going to get 15 rounds back.
Look at that! Look at that combination!
Between the 8th and 9th rounds, Ward's corner told him to use his trump card. The round began, and Ward went straight for the kill. The left hook like a bullet froze the work of his liver, and the grimace on Gotti's face spoke for him better than 1,000 words ever could.
A stronger fighter as Ward before.
Body shot again. That's the body shot. If he is hurt, this is it. He's not going to regret. It's not like a head punch.
Gotti, showing immeasurable willpower, got up, and Ward went for his evaded finish. For those who don't know what a liver shot feels like, the liver stops conducting blood and forces the heart to slow down, which for a boxer can affect with dizziness. The body spasms trying to bend the body because the low blood pressure can't pump blood through the fighter's body. Gotti's body was beeping and telling him to sit down and let his liver recover, but his valiant heart would not let him kneel before his rival. Gotti's body was in red alert, telling him to sit down and let his liver recover, but his valiant heart prevented him from kneeling before his adversary. At some point, the liver began to conduct a small volume of blood and show the signs of functioning. This was more than enough for Gotti, and he immediately began to repay the Irishman.
Tremendous barrage in the first minute. Just look at this.
Unbelievable.
Gotti risked eating through a tube and peeing blood for the rest of the week if he missed another punch, so he sought to protect his body at all costs.
This should be the round of the century.
Ward went into the last 10th round with the idea of completing his mission, but Gotti ignored his condition till the very last drop of blood and tried to come out victorious.
Seems to have taken some
Yes, Ed, he's taking
fresh
it
air
now.
from it.
And he's winning his fight now.
Two of the most unboxing circa 2002. A fight straight out of the night.
Mickey Ward won the fight by a close decision, and the commentators and fans already knew that they had just seen some historic shit. Ring Magazine recognized the fight as the fight of the year, and the 9th round as the round of the year. The two gladiators were immediately organized a rematch, but this time, Gotti was wiser and had a technical and disciplined fight, knocking Ward down, taking the rematch from the Irishman. The score was evened, and after the fight, Gotti made an offer that Ward couldn't refuse.
Well, I have to thank God we're both healthy. We fought a great fight tonight. It's 1-1, so a third one I wouldn't mind.
A year after their first encounter, in June 2003, the fighters finally reached the final chapter of the trilogy. All 15,000 seats were sold out at the Boardwalk Atlantic City. If the first time the war came as a pleasant surprise to the fans, this time the fans knew what fight they had bought a ticket for. No championship belt was at stake, but it didn't make the fight worse. Without changing the plan for the fight, Gotti began to outplay his opponent both on the feet and on the hands.
Something to use as a beacon to help him beat the demon.
Working on the floors, thunder began to overwhelm Ward's brain, and it seemed that the scenario of the second fight was repeating itself.
Well, if the fight continues to go as it is, Gatti's...
Ward landed a little counter right hand, but it's mostly Gotti.
One of those body punches from Gotti hit Ward's pelvis and completely shattered his arm.
Single inch of it. He moves beautifully, gets a double, triple shots, gets the hell.
Gotti had basically turned into a one-armed fighter. It hurt to punch, and even worse, it hurt to block. In the blink of an eye, the fight turned upside down.
Left. Still no right hand. Appears almost so right hand. And Mickey Ward is taking advantage to pound it.
What you want me to do? My right hand. What you want me to do?
Arturo's attempts to use his broken arm were clearly in tremendous pain.
No question, Arturo Gotti has hurt his right hand. Using the left hand.
Yeah, the right hand is definitely hurt. They may have to end up stopping it.
99% of other fighters would have tried their luck next time.
You can't do it in boxing. The whole team is Gotti.
Mickey Ward landed a haymaker shot.
However, this was not the cloth from which Arturo was cut. He completely changed the game, and from being a prey, he started going toe-to-toe with Ward. In an attempt to finish the fight, Ward tired and found himself on the receiving end of punches.
The next day,
There's a cut, probably by a right-hand punch from Gotti with his broken hand.
Euphoria and adrenaline completely took over the pain, and Gotti began to pile up his combinations.
Incidentally, Ward has Al Gavin, one of the greatest to cut men in his corner, healed away.
The pendulum swung back, and a hard 1-2 from the Irishman put Gotti down.
Gotti with a huge left hook.
great boxing talent, and Ward comes in and doesn't punch often enough.
Gotti fought back, but a double from Ward got through the defense for the second time. Mickey tried to finish it off, but he just ran out of gas in the tank.
And he hurt Gotti with the right hand. Hurt him badly. And here comes Arturo trying to fight his way off the ropes. One reason you have a great cut man like Gavin is so that the doctor will listen to him when he says...
The remaining rounds were taken by the fresher Gotti, but Ward gathered his strength in a knuckle, and in the last seconds, he and Arturo rolled the last colorful slugfest.
Atlanta goes in outside these doors. Is turning into...
Look at Arturo firing that broken right hand. Mickey Ward left hook.
Left hook.
Can get
for pound punches.
His seventh round.
Yeah, one guy fight with his head broke.
Reminiscent of the ninth round in the first round. And they rise again in brawl. They're done.
The fight once again went to the judge's decision, where Arturo Gotti was awarded the victory. Despite the fact that none of the fights ended in knockouts, 2 fights from the trilogy went down in history as fights of the year. Gotti showed his evolution after the first encounter with a cleaner and more technical fight. He took the next 2 and came out the winner of the trilogy. After the fight with Ward, Gotti reached a completely different level as he defeated undefeated Italian Gianluca Branco. And then in fights with Leonard Durafti, Jesse James, and Dutchman Thomas Damgaard, Gotti not only disposed of each, but took their souls. Each of them not long after announced the end of their careers. But that proved to be the Canadian's last shining glow. After 2 defeats in a row by technical knockout, at the age of 35, he decided to end his colorful career after all. After ending his career under unclear circumstances involving his wife, Arturo was found hanged in his hotel room. But it would be wrong to say that Arturo Gotti is dead, as thanks to his unforgettable style, he will always remain in the hearts of fans and boxing chronicles as a warrior with an unwavering will who gave his all to boxing.
Big left hook lands upstairs. Another left inside.
If you enjoyed our content, please consider leaving a like and subscribe.